Imagine discovering your prized boat vanished from your driveway overnight, only to spot it gleaming in your nosy HOA president's backyard. But when she flaunts her new acquisition, karma strikes swiftly. 2 days later, the FBI swarms her property, seizing her entire fleet in a twist that'll leave you cheering for justice. If you're hooked on wild HOA nightmares and Karen takedowns, smash that like button, subscribe for more insane property drama stories, and hit the bell so you never miss an upload. Let's dive into this boat-stealing saga that'll have you questioning your neighbors forever. In the quiet suburb of Willow Creek, where manicured lawns stretched like green carpets under the watchful eyes of the Homeowners Association, lived a man named Alex Harlan. Alex was a hard-working engineer in his mid-40s, the kind who preferred tinkering in his garage over attending endless HOA meetings. His pride and joy was a sleek 20-foot fishing boat he'd restored over countless weekends, its hull painted a deep navy blue that shimmered under the sun. Parked in his driveway, it was more than a vessel. It was a symbol of his hard-earned freedom, a escape from the daily grind to the open waters of nearby Lake Evergreen. But in Willow Creek, freedom came with strings, pulled tightly by the iron-fisted HOA president Karen Whitaker. Karen was a force of nature, or rather a storm cloud hovering over the neighborhood. In her late 50s, with perfectly coiffed blonde hair and a wardrobe of pastel cardigans, she ruled with a rulebook thicker than a dictionary. No one dared park a vehicle on the street overnight, plant a flower bed without approval, or heaven forbid, let their grass grow a quarter-inch too long. Karen's house, a sprawling 2-story colonial at the end of the cul-de-sac, was the epitome of HOA perfection: symmetrical hedges, spotless siding, and a fleet of her own toys in the backyard, including a pontoon boat she rarely used but loved to brag about during association gatherings. Alex had clashed with her before. Once over a holiday decoration he left up a day too long, earning him a stern violation notice slipped under his door at dawn. He paid the fine grudgingly, muttering about overzealous busybodies, but he never imagined she'd cross into outright theft. It started on a crisp autumn evening. Alex returned from a long day at work, his truck rumbling into the driveway as the sun dipped below the horizon. He glanced at the spot where his boat usually sat, trailer hitched and ready for spontaneous outings. But it was gone. Vanished as if swallowed by the earth. Panic surged through him like a cold wave. He searched the garage, the backyard, even drove around the block thinking perhaps he'd misplaced it in some absurd lapse of memory. Nothing. Heart pounding. He called the police, reporting the theft with a voice laced with disbelief. The officer who arrived was sympathetic but skeptical. Boats didn't just disappear in suburbs like this. They took notes, promised to investigate, but Alex could see the doubt in their eyes. Was it kids joyriding? A towing mix-up? He spent the night tossing in bed, visions of his boat stripped for parts haunting his dreams. The next morning, fueled by coffee and determination, Alex canvassed the neighborhood. Door to door, he asked if anyone had seen anything suspicious. Most neighbors shook their heads, offering condolences with wary glances. No one wanted to get on Karen's bad side by stirring trouble. But then, at the house next to Karen's, an elderly couple hesitated before whispering that they'd heard a truck backing up late at night, headlights off, heading toward the Whitaker property. Intrigued and suspicious, Alex decided to investigate discreetly. He waited until dusk, then strolled casually down the street, phone in hand as if on a call. Peering over Karen's fence under the cover of twilight, his blood boiled. There it was, his boat, unmistakable with the custom rod holders he'd installed himself, sitting proudly in her expansive backyard beside her pontoon. She hadn't even bothered to cover it properly. The navy hull gleamed mockingly under her floodlights. Rage bubbled up, but Alex forced himself to stay calm. Confronting her directly would be suicide. Karen had a way of twisting situations backed by her HOA cronies on the board. Instead, he snapped photos from afar, evidence time-stamped and geotagged. Back home, he pored over the HOA bylaws, searching for any clause that might justify her actions. Nothing. This wasn't enforcement. This was theft, plain and simple. Why his boat? Jealousy, perhaps. Karen had once complained at a meeting about unsightly vehicles cluttering driveways, her eyes lingering on Alex's trailer. Or maybe it was payback for that decoration fiasco. Whatever the reason, Alex knew he needed proof beyond photos. He installed a small trail camera on his property line, angled toward her yard and waited. Days turned into a tense standoff. Karen, oblivious or arrogant, began using the boat as her own. Neighbors whispered about seeing her polishing it, even towing it to the lake for a joyride. Alex seethed, but he played the long game, gathering footage of her coming and going with his property. He reported the updates to the police, who now took him more seriously, but bureaucracy moved slowly. Warrants needed evidence, and Karen's influence in the community, her husband was a retired judge, complicated things. Alex dug deeper, researching her background online. What he found was a trail of petty disputes. Former neighbors suing over boundary lines, anonymous complaints about her aggressive tactics. But nothing criminal, yet. As the leaves turned golden, Alex noticed something odd. Karen's backyard fleet was growing. Another boat appeared, a speedboat with flashy decals, then a jet ski. Where was she getting them? Whispers in the neighborhood suggested she had connections, perhaps through her husband's old legal ties. Alex's suspicion grew. This wasn't just about his boat anymore. He started following leads, discreetly talking to boat dealers in the area. One mentioned a woman matching Karen's description who paid cash for high-end watercraft, no questions asked. Another hinted at shady resales. Alex's engineering mind kicked in. He cross-referenced serial numbers from his photos with online databases for stolen vessels. Bingo. The speedboat matched one reported missing from a marina 2 towns over. His own boat's VIN confirmed the theft. Armed with this, he tipped off the authorities anonymously, but the real breakthrough came when he stumbled upon a forum thread about interstate boat smuggling rings. It seemed far-fetched, but patterns matched. Quick flips, cash deals, suburban storage. Could Karen be involved in something bigger? The thought chilled him. As winter approached, the police finally raided, but not before Karen hosted a lavish HOA holiday party. Her backyard illuminated, boats on display like trophies. Alex watched from afar, bitterness mixing with anticipation. The net was closing. In the days that followed, federal agents got involved, tracing the boats to a larger operation. But for now, Alex waited, his camera rolling as Karen's empire of rules began to crack under the weight of her own greed. The revelation hit like a thunderclap on a clear day, shaking the foundations of Willow Creek's pristine facade. As Alex's investigation deepened, he uncovered layers of deception that extended far beyond a simple boat theft. Karen Whitaker, the self-appointed guardian of neighborhood standards, had been harboring secrets darker than the depths of Lake Evergreen. It turned out her husband's judicial retirement wasn't as clean as it seemed. Whispers of favors owed and connections to shadowy figures in the boating world began to surface. Alex, poring over public records late into the night, discovered property deeds linking Karen to a warehouse on the outskirts of town, a place where high-value items changed hands discreetly. His trail camera footage showed unfamiliar trucks arriving at odd hours, unloading crates that could easily conceal dismantled watercraft. The speedboat he'd identified as stolen was just the tip of the iceberg. Cross-checking more VINs, Alex found matches to a string of thefts across state lines. Yachts, jet skis, even rare vintage boats vanishing from docks and driveways, only to reappear in classified ads with altered details. Karen's role became clearer. She wasn't just a thief. She was a fence, using her HOA authority as cover to scout potential targets during her inspections. Alex's own boat had been targeted after she spotted it during a routine walkthrough, deeming it an eyesore while plotting its acquisition for her network. The FBI entered the picture quietly at first. Alex's anonymous tip, bolstered by his compiled evidence, photos, timestamps, database screenshots, landed on the desk of Agent Maria Lopez, a specialist in interstate property crimes. She saw the patterns immediately. A ring operating under the guise of legitimate resales, laundering stolen goods through suburban proxies like Karen. Surveillance began, agents blending into the neighborhood as joggers and delivery drivers, noting the comings and goings at the Whitaker residence. Karen, meanwhile, grew bolder. She paraded her expanding collection at community events, boasting about great deals from estate sales. Neighbors nodded politely, but unease spread. Rumors of her overreach had always simmered, now boiling over with sightings of suspicious visitors. Alex kept his distance, feigning normalcy while feeding updates to the authorities through secure channels. Tension mounted as the holidays neared. Karen announced a grand New Year's boat parade on the lake, inviting select HOA members to join her fleet. Alex declined, citing work, but watched from the shore as her pontoon led the procession, his stolen boat trailing behind like a captive. That night he noticed federal plates on a van parked nearby, the noose tightening. 2 days after Alex's boat first appeared in her yard, the storm broke. Dawn raided Karen's property with a symphony of sirens and flashing lights. FBI agents swarmed, warrants in hand, as neighbors peeked from curtains in shock. Karen emerged in her robe, face a mask of indignation, demanding to know the meaning of this outrage. But the agents were unmoved, methodically tagging and towing her entire backyard arsenal. The pontoon, the speedboat, the jet skis, and yes, Alex's fishing boat. Evidence poured out. Forged documents in her home office. Cash stashes in hidden safes. Emails linking her to known smugglers. Her husband's involvement surfaced too. Old debt settled through illicit favors, pulling Karen into the web. The neighborhood reeled. HOA meetings dissolved into chaos, with members demanding her resignation as she was led away in cuffs. Alex stood in his driveway watching the spectacle, a mix of vindication and relief washing over him. His boat was recovered, though scarred from her neglect, but the real victory was the dismantling of her reign. Willow Creek breathed easier, lawns a little less perfect, but freedom's a bit more secure. Yet as the dust settled, questions lingered. How deep did the ring go, and who else in the suburb might be entangled? The aftermath rippled through Willow Creek like waves from a stone tossed into still water, reshaping the community's landscape in unexpected ways. With Karen Whitaker behind bars awaiting trial on charges of grand theft, fencing stolen property, and conspiracy, the HOA board scrambled to fill the void. Interim elections brought in fresh faces, ones who prioritized harmony over harassment, easing restrictions that had choked the neighborhood for years. Alex Harlan, once a reluctant participant, found himself nominated as a board member, his ordeal turning him into an unlikely hero. He accepted cautiously, vowing to prevent future tyrannies. His boat, back in the driveway after forensic examinations, underwent repairs, new paint, reinforced locks, as a testament to resilience. Neighbors who once avoided him now stopped by with baked goods and stories of their own Karen encounters, forging bonds in the wake of scandal. The FBI's investigation widened, uncovering a network spanning multiple states with Karen as a key suburban hub. Her husband's assets were frozen, their colonial home listed for sale to cover legal fees. The warehouse Alex had discovered yielded a treasure trove of contraband, leading to more arrests. Media descended on Willow Creek, turning the quiet suburb into a temporary circus. Local news crews interviewed residents, painting Karen as the ultimate HOA Karen gone rogue, her story going viral on social media. YouTube channels dissected the drama, with titles like HOA Tyrant Busted by FBI racking up millions of views. Alex declined interviews, preferring anonymity, but his role leaked out, earning him quiet admiration. Life normalized gradually. Spring brought blooming gardens without fear of citations, barbecues without permit paranoia. Alex took his boat out more often, the lake's calm waters a balm for frayed nerves. He reflected on the irony, a simple theft unraveling a criminal empire, all because one man refused to back down. Karen's trial loomed, promising more revelations, but for now, Willow Creek savored its liberation. The boats were gone, the Karen dethroned, and justice, though delayed, had docked firmly on shore. Thanks for sticking around for this epic HOA revenge tale. If you loved the twists and takedowns, hit that like button, subscribe for more wild stories dropping weekly, and comment below with your craziest neighbor nightmare. See you in the next one.